Now, I mentioned this note that had been sent around to parents at a Sydney school. This comes from, I presume, the principal, or certainly someone in charge. I've had a report today of inappropriate phone use at afternoon dismissal. I implore parents to check the internet browsing history on their child's phones. Besides students accessing inappropriate adult material, I've been made aware of a site called Omegle, where children can dial up random people to have conversations. Now, Daniel Lewkovitz is the CEO of Calamity. He's a security expert. We've spoken to him before. He was listening in and he's called in. Daniel, hello.
Good morning, Ben. Omegle's actually been around for over 10 years, and there's a number of sites like that. Chat Roulette is another one, and in essence, it's just a web service that allows you to talk to strangers. That's the whole point of it. And the reason it's become very popular recently is simply because you have a whole lot of kids who are basically stuck at home due to the pandemic who just want to get out there and talk to strangers. Now, the talking itself is not necessarily any different to any other social network. I mean, as you know, Facebook has got plenty of objectionable content on it. Snapchat's original purpose was probably very different to what it's used for by kids these days. But the issue is that with any social network, there's going to be people on there who engage in inappropriate conversation, or in the case of Omegle, which has a video chat feature, it can also be nudity and things like that. So simply banning it or having some sort of moral panic about a website, which appears to be what this headmaster has done, probably doesn't help, because it's a bit like, telling kids, well, you could never drink alcohol. You know that things are going to happen. And what you should be doing instead is educating your children how to protect themselves online, what to look out for, who to tell when bad things happen, and how to get out, because that prepares them a lot better for an online world rather than just expecting them never to connect to these websites in the first place.
Yeah, you can understand why they'd be saying, listen, we want you to be careful, because these are primary school kids. And I haven't named the school because the parent who passed this on asked me not to. But you've got primary school kids. If they're talking to random strangers anywhere in the world, that's drama.
Right. Well, I mean, look, in essence, this is probably a modern version of what once upon a time would have been called stranger danger, and parents teaching children the difference between, say, talking to someone at the shops who's being perfectly friendly and is not a threat versus talking to someone else who may be predatory or who may pose a threat to them. I mean, the majority of the conversations on these websites are going to be quite innocuous. It'll probably be young people just talking to other young people. And ostensibly, the site itself is actually anonymous. It's designed to be anonymous, which affords some level of protection that you might not even have on, say, Instagram or Facebook. But the most important thing for parents to do is to have very open conversations with their children about bad things that happen both online and in the real world, how to protect themselves, what the warning signs are, because, ignorance may be bliss, but burying your head in the sand and just banning websites or assuming this thing isn't going to happen doesn't prepare children for the world they're entering. And it's also oblivious to the fact that these kids will probably get online anyway. So it would be more appropriate that parents at least know what's out there, familiarise themselves with it, and have a very open dialogue with their children that gives them the resilience and the protective instincts that they need, rather than just expecting bans are going to solve the problem. Because with the proliferation of these sort of services out there, that's just simply not realistic.
Daniel, good advice as always. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Ben. Have a great day.
Good on you. Daniel Lewkovitz, who's the CEO of Calamity Security.